Reality check, man, from your device, you know, say aromatic realistic TV. Anyway, people, you see today, they have this saying where they say 7 brothers, 7 different man. So simple mean, you will have 1 or 2 of the brother are thief. You know, one is a lawyer, one is a doctor, one is a mason, you know, one is a plumber. You cannot mix Christ and the devil. They are not the same. Right? The devil is the devil deal with evil, and Christ deal with righteousness. They are not the same. See, just like one lady have a twin, one of them a girl, one of them a boy. You see what I mean? One of them favor the mother, one of them favor the father. They are not the same. So when people are going around and say PMP and JLP are the same, they are not the same, brother. Don't tell me that PMP and JLP is the same. They are not the same. One of them is for the rich, that is the JLP, and the PMP is for the poor. You know what I mean? Build from the ground up. Nation building. Research tell me that. You don't have to take mine, but you can go do yours. One of these parties are more destructive to the Jamaican people as the next one. The Labour Party are more destructive to the Jamaican people than the People's National Party. And as I lay out my case, you will understand what I'm talking about. And if you fail to understand what I'm talking about, you can go and do your research. Because my research gives me confidence to make my case. Okay? All right, we're going to look back to 1963. Prime Minister of Jamaica, Sir Alexander Bustamante. It was an alleged, he tell the military and the police force of Jamaica to bring in all Rasta, dead or alive. It's alleged that Rodolph Franklin and his friend them set Ken Douglas petrol station down there in a Coral Garden and fire. They don't have any concrete evidence that they did it. But the Prime Minister of Jamaica, based on alleged, said to bring in all Rasta dead or alive. That is when they trim Rasta, then beat them, then kill Rasta, then lock them up in a jail, and Rasta have a runway to the hills. The PMP government has never done such wicked, brutal, human harm to the citizen of Jamaica. So don't tell me that the PMP is the same thing as the JLP. 2 different parties. And I'm gonna lay out the foundation and the structure of the great late Michael Manley. Because I'm making the difference of the 2, you know. In 1974, Michael Manley passed free education from primary school through university. You hear what I just said a while ago? In 1974, Michael Manley, free education from primary school throughout university. That was under the PMP administration. Also in 1974, he established the minimum wage for all workers, including domestic helper. So the little lady will drop out of school who can't read and can't write, but he can wash and he can cook and he can iron. He never left them out. He said, "Uno in the picture too. Uno can't just give them what uno feel like to give them anymore. There is a set wages there where you have to pay them because they are somebody." It was a great late Michael start the youth service. So when a youth left all age school at the age of 15, and the youth they can't read, I mean can't write, he can't do maths or English, he could go in at the kennel word, him go develop a skill, carpenter, mason, electrician, cabinet worker, name it. See, it wasn't like the Archers NTA where if you drop out of school from 15, you have to sit down and wait until you are 18. That 3-year span from 15 to 18, that's recruitment for gangs. He did not do that. It was Edward Seaga come and change it around to Archers NTA. And it was more harder for people even to get into that because of tests and all of these things. Michael Manley Youth Service didn't require nothing. If you cannot read and you cannot write, and you go there, you can do carpenter, cabinet worker, mason, plumber, name it. Youth service. So the youth service and the Archers, them just copy the youth service and turn it over into Archers because Seaga never want to continue on what Michael Manley did. You understand? It was Michael who go on and what he says, equal pay for woman in the 70s. So enough for the woman them and the man them they get the same pay now in the workforce. It was Michael Manley who introduced that to the Jamaican people in the 70s. You see what I mean? Maternity leave. So when your mother or your sister or somebody she's pregnant and working for that company, and it's time for she to go and have baby. When she go home and yard, them have to pay him 3 months. They have to pay her 3 months. Maternity leave. It was under Michael Manley and the People's National Party. So don't tell me in this 21st century that the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party is the same. No, they are not the same. They are not the same. So don't give me that. But let I give you another layout. And now we are looking at 1979 into 1980, leading up to the general election. And now we are talking about one Edward Seaga, who was the architect behind these men. Who was the architect behind these men? I'm talking the Tan Peralta, the Pernell Charge, the Bruce Golding, the Ken Barr, the Oswald Arden, the Babsy Grange, and the Edmund Bartlett. Through the architect of one Seaga, the first time in our history introduced machine guns and military-style weapons to the youth of Jamaica to fight against the People's National Party. Let me repeat again. In the 1979-1980, the architect of Edward Seaga, with his cronies Tan Peralta, Pernell Charge, Bruce Golding, Ken Barr, Oswald Arden, Babsy Grange, Edmund Bartlett, introduced machine gun and military style weapons to the youth of Jamaica to fight against the PNP. So don't tell me that they are the same. They are not the same. I say in the 70s, this is what the great late Michael Manley under the People's National Party present to Jamaica. Free education from primary throughout university. He established the minimum wage. You understand? For all workers, including domestic helper. He started the youth service with enough of the youth them in Jamaica now a plumber and carpenter and mason and cabinet worker. It was through the youth service. He said equal pay for women. The woman them and the man them are in the workplace now they get the same thing. And Michael Manley do that. Maternity leave for your mother. He might work for the company and ready to go have baby and gone home. They have to pay him for his 3 months. And it goes on. He says agriculture first and tourism behind. Because if you cannot feed yourself, you're in problem. And the JLP come and they reverse it and they say tourism first and they push agriculture behind. And because of that ignorance, the Jamaican people are suffering now. We make like 1.5 billion or 2 billion of tourism. We could have making billions of agriculture. But they turn it around. So don't tell me that they are the same. Now look at the 2010 Tivoli incursion. At the time, Prime Minister Bruce Golding of the indictment for 6 months sit down in his office and did not tell the people of Tivoli Garden. And because of that, hundreds of Jamaicans lose their life. Hundreds of Jamaica lose their life because of that. Now check 2020 and the pandemic. One of the worst things the citizen of Jamaica has ever seen in their life. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica gets 750 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, the International World Bank, and the IMF to help the citizen of Jamaica. And he did not. We hear that 400 million missing under the watch of Christopher Tufton. He did not give the Jamaican people the money. When their back was against the wall, they were in crisis, suffering, don't know where to turn. And you did not give them the money. And the thing about it that is so disturbing, every Jamaican, including the baby who don't born yet, will have to pay back that loan because it was not a gift. It was in 2022, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, go over in Clifton community when he stand in the House of Parliament and tell the Jamaican people lie that there was underground criminal elements that was taking place over there in Clifton. And he go over there and demolish the people them house over there. And it was a principal who lived in the Prime Minister constituency was selling those plots. And he go back in Parliament and tell the people of Jamaica that there is no squatters living over there. Don't tell me that the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party is the same thing. The People's National Party does not destroy the poor. They try to build the poor. They are not perfect. They are not perfect. But they never try to destroy the poor the way how the Jamaica Labour Party destroy the poor. And that's the reason why I come to my conclusion. So which one of these parties is more destructive to the Jamaican people? Which one of these parties is more destructive to the Jamaican people? And my research is telling me that the Jamaica Labour Party. 1963, Bustamante said we bring in all Rasta dead or alive. Then kill Rasta, trim Rasta, torture Rasta, lock up Rasta, and allege they don't have any facts. In 1979, 1980, under the architect of one Edward Siaga, Tan Peralta, Bernal Charge, Bruce Golding, Ken Barr, Aswell Arden, Bob Zigrage, Ed Bartlett introduce M16 and military style gun to the Jamaican youths to fight against the PMP party. So don't tell me that the PMP and the JLP are the same. They are not the same. It was in 2010, Bruce Golding, Prime Minister, get the indictment for 6 months and have it sit down in his office and make the people of Tivoli Garden lose their life. So don't tell me that the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party are the same thing. It was in 2020, Andrew Holness gets $750 million to borrow from the IMF in the pandemic to give to the Jamaican people, and he did not give it to the Jamaican people in that time of crisis and suffering. So don't tell me that the PNP, the People's National Party, is the same thing as the Jamaican Labour Party. It was in 2022, the Prime Minister of Jamaica stand in the House of Parliament and tell the people of Jamaica that there is underground criminal elements taking place in Clifton community over there in St. Catherine, and go over there and demolish the people house. And then he come back in Parliament and tell the Jamaican people that there is no squatters living over there, because he find out that there was a principal in his constituency that was selling those plots to the Jamaican people. So don't tell me that the People's National Party is the same thing as the Jamaican Labour Party. The People's National Party under Michael Joshua Manley in 1974, free education from primary to university. Also in 1974, he established the minimum wage for all workers, including domestic helpers. He also introduced the youth service, that from 15 years old, a youth could go in at the Kenilworth, go learn in mason, in carpenter, and plumber. You understand? In cabinet worker, and name it. It was under Michael Manley. Equal pay for woman, it was under Michael Manley and the PNP. Maternity leave for the ladies. So if you are working for this person and it's time for you to have baby and you go home, them have to pay you. That was under Michael Manley. Agriculture, when Michael Manley give the citizen of Jamaican land, that was under the PNP. So don't tell me that PNP is the same thing as the JLP. Your facts is wrong, and you need to go and revisit your history, because this is what my history tells me. If you think that I'm lying, 1980 was one of our most bloodiest and gruesome elections in the history of Jamaica. And who rise to power? It was Philip George Edwards Yaga who rise to power. So if you want to go and revisit history, then history will tell you the truth, and the facts is there. So don't tell me that the PNP and the GLP are the same thing. The GLP built from top down because they only deal with the 1%, the rich. But the PNP try to elevate from the grassroots up. You know how I know that? Research. So I do my research, and you can go and do yours. But don't come and tell me, don't try to justify it, because the Labour Right Party is all over the place. All kind of corruption is taking place. You want to try and justify the thing. No, they are not the same. The JLP is a destructive party to the citizen of Jamaica. The history is there. I do my research. You can go and do yours. Much love, and stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Until then, we'll chat again. Jamaican, walk good and live good. God and good road. I'm out. Much love.